Okay, so we are at question number 8. This is the question. The diagram below shows 3 figures in sequence. Now, each figure is made up of squares of side 1 cm. Now we have to complete the figure. Now let me show you how the figures look. So you have the first figure here, and then this is the second figure. This is the third. So this is the third one. Now we are expected to draw the fourth figure. Okay, now clearly you can see it starts with one block. This is 3 and this is 5. So obviously the next block is going to be having 7. So I'm trying to fit this over here because of space constraints. Okay, so you will have to draw this. Okay, so we will have to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more we need. So I will squeeze it over here, and then from here there is another block that starts. Okay, and then draw this so it gets augmented. And then finally you have this. Okay, so this is figure 4. So you need to actually have some pattern recognition. So what I mean by pattern recognition here is, see, in this case you don't see much, it's just one block, but over here in the second figure, after the first step, the second step leads to the top. In the third figure, the first step, second step, the third step leads to the top. Now just compare this to figure 2. Over here the second step leads to the top. Over here the third step leads to the top. So naturally the figure 4, the fourth step should lead us to the top. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. The fourth step leads us to the top. Okay, so because these figures, these patterns are confusing actually when you start to draw. Confusion starts when you start to draw. So that is where the mathematical logic comes into place to help us. So logically you find out the pattern that governs. In other words, what I'm trying to say is extract the logic that controls the pattern. And once you extract the logic, it's all going to be simple. That's it. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, next we have been given this table. We will have to complete this table. So let me draw this table. and then 4, we have to find this out, and we have to find this out. Then 5, we need to find this out, we need to find this out. And then it goes on till 15, we got to find this 15, and then n, we got to find this n. We have to fill up these things. Okay, so having mentioned that, now watch here. What is the difference between 1 and 4? 3 units. What is it? I'm going to write it over here. What is the difference between 4 and 9? Is going to be 5 units. You see, it is incrementing in steps of odd numbers. So naturally the next one is going to be 7, right? So this difference is 3, difference over here is 5. So naturally the difference over here should be 7. So that is the pattern there. So if I add 7 to 9, I get 16. And the next one is, if it's going to be 9. So if I add 9 over here, I'll get 25. Okay, so that fills up. Now let's go back, or I would say let's go over here to the perimeter. You see, this is incrementing in steps of 1. 1, 2, 3. So naturally the next one is going to be 4. The 6, 6, 6 is a constant. 2, 2, 2 is a constant, followed by 2. So what is this? 6 4s are 24. From 24, you take away 2, you get 22. Okay. So the next one is going to be 5 multiplied with 6 negative 2. 6 5s are 30. From 30 you take away 2, you get 28. Now come over here. This is the number 15. Now we cannot go by difference here, right? Now we need to study the pattern, the logic behind the pattern. See, this is 1 squared, this is 2 squared, this is 3 squared, this is 4 squared, this is 5 squared. Look across the adjacent column. The 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1 squared gives me 1, 2 squared gives me 4, 3 squared gives me 9, 4 squared gives me 16, 5 squared gives me 25. 15 squared should give me 225. So it's going to be n squared here. So that's the nth term. Coming over here, the column numbers are reflected here. So this is going to be 15 constant minus constant, 6 times 15. 6 times 15 is what? 6 5s are 30. It's going to be 90. From 90 you take away 2, you get 88. So in this case it's going to be n times 6 minus 2, which is going to be 6n minus 2, right? So that is the completion for this beautiful question.